I was somehow lucky enough to receive an invitation to the Dawntrail media tour, where I was given the opportunity to test out the level 100 iterations of all 21 of the game's jobs. In order to make sure you can get all the information you want quickly, I've sectioned each of my media tour videos into 3 sections. Firstly comes the changes and additions, including tooltips. Then I will talk more in depth on how I feel about the jobs. It's here that I'll talk about the various little bits and pieces that I tested, how this will shift their playstyle, and give you a bit of a primer of exactly what to expect going into the next expansion. Lastly, at the end of the video, I will have a full list of the jobs tooltips from the media tour build, including traits. Do please bear in mind that what I played was a development build, and it's totally subject to change, especially potencies, so don't take this as a final product, but it can be very useful to see intention and direction from the developers. Additionally, I had very limited time to test everything, and our play session was at like 400 ping due to needing to route the server access through North America, then all the way to Japan. So what you're going to be seeing from me is definitely not peak gameplay. My apologies, I did the best I could with what we had access to. First, Monk's basic attack combos have been shaken up in a fairly drastic way. The damage buff from Twin Snakes and the dot from Demolish have both been completely removed. In their place comes this brand new job gauge. This gauge contains elements related to the 3 main forms of monk attacks. First up is the Upu Upu's Fury, and you can have one of them. Then comes the Raptor's Fury, of which the gauge stores 2, and lastly is the Coel's Fury, and there's 3 of them. Now, every time you do a Dragon Kick, Twin Snakes, or Demolish, you will fill the gauge for that corresponding animal. Note that I said you fill the gauge for that animal, you don't just add 1 stat. Bootshine has been upgraded to Leaping Oppo, dealing 360 potency of damage. Rising Raptor is a new upgraded version of True Thrust, hitting at 360 potency, and Pouncing Coil is a replacement for Snap Punch, hitting for 400 potency assuming you hit the positional. Using one of these 3 attacks will consume one of their corresponding Fury stacks, and either gain potency or a proc as a secondary effect. In the Oppo Oppo base, it keeps the Dragon Kick into Bootshine bonus of guaranteeing a crit on spending a stack. For both of the others, it increases their potency by 100 if you spend a stack. Riddle of Fire now has the combo action coming off of it, Fire's Reply. This is a 1300 potency GCD attack, and when you execute it, you get the Formless Fist buff afterwards, much in the same way that you would after using a Masterful Blitz. You have 20 seconds to use this attack after hitting Riddle of Fire. Riddle of Wind also has a GCD combo action in Wind's Reply. This one's a little bit weaker, dealing 900 potency of damage. You get 15 seconds to use Wind's Reply after pressing Riddle of Wind. Of course, Riddle of Earth is not left out to dry. It's gained its own combo action, Earth's Reply, which is an OGCD 500 potency AoE heal. Brotherhood now lasts for 20 seconds instead of the previous 15 seconds, and whilst you're under its effect, you can now build up 10 chakra stacks rather than the usual 5. Elixir Field gets an upgrade. This is Elixir Burst, with a brand new animation and enhanced potency, hitting for 900 in total. It still has the same secondary effect of opening up the Lunar Nadi, and it also provides Formless Fist. Side note, but Rising Phoenix is 900 now as well, so they've both equalized the Lunar and Solar Nadi finishers to one another. You also gain Enlightened Meditation. This is basically just a chakra button for enlightenment. It doesn't do anything at all special, it's just a nice little piece of quality of life to have. Six-Sided Star will now consume all of your current chakra stacks upon usage, gaining 80 potency to its overall damage per stack it consumes. Its base potency has also gone up quite a lot to 780. Now, one thing I'm really curious about, but I don't have time to math out, is whether you're going to use Six-Sided Star at the end of a burst window during uptime in order to get the nuke off. I wonder if it's worth it. I don't have time to figure it out, but I would love someone to work it out and tell me in the comment section. They also got a number of GCD potency buffs to bring their damage in line with the upgrades that other jobs received, and Fate has been extended from 10 to 15 seconds in duration. Second Wind has had its healing potency buffed as well, all the way up to 800. So, in terms of your moment-to-moment gameplay between burst windows, I actually love these changes. The variance with which the buttons you'd be pressing at any given time in your normal 1-2-3 combo now, in terms of the building and expending of your fury, was way more active for me than any non-buff window rotation I've dealt with in Final Fantasy XIV in years. And I fully accept that it's possible and maybe even likely that this is solely because I got about 20 minutes with the job and a handful of hours will make it click as easily and thoughtlessly as any other job, but I at least was having a blast during the time that I got with it. I was constantly keeping an eye on my gauge and switching up my next combo, and I never felt like I quite got into a mindless rhythm as you did in Monk in the past. As a side note though, I do acknowledge that stuff like double dotting Demolish and the upkeep of both effects at once, pretty much now a thing of the past. But personally, I'm okay with losing it if we get an interesting new job mechanic to make up for it. In burst windows, because you are no longer shifting your PB usage within a window to ensure that you've just had a Demolish refresh, you don't need to do that in the same way anymore. Optimal drift rotation in its current format is gone. Now it feels like you'll probably end up shifting a perfect balance, at least partially outside of burst in general, especially on the 2-minute window, in order to ensure that you can get all your big hits in. Especially on your opener and the 6-minute windows and stuff like that, my guess is that it'll be essential to fit in both Masterful Blitzes, Fire's Reply and Wind's Reply, and that likely means that something is going to end up shifting out of burst very slightly, and the safest bet are a couple of PB GCDs. This is cool though. I feel like it's easier for the average person to figure out exactly how to burst on Monk, and it still retains pretty much the feeling that it had previously. Oddly enough, Monk's AoE combo attacks, such as for example 4-point Fury and Rockbreaker, do not interact with the Fury gauge at all. They neither build it nor spend it. Weird. On the whole, Monk aside from Dragoon and Pictomancer were actually the 3 jobs I had the most enjoyable time with at my Media Tour play session, and I cannot wait to play them again come 7.0 and get a little bit more stuck in. If you have any questions about the job or how parts of it interact, let me know in the comment section and I will do my best to answer you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.